Indiana's abortion debate is drawing major crowds. Thousands of protesters are descending on the Capitol. They're both sides of the issue represented for the first day of a special legislative session to address tightening Indiana's abortion laws. Joining those in opposition is Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she met with Indiana Democrats this morning saying abortion bans reflect a health care crisis in the U.S.
Around our country, we are seeing indeed many states, since the Dobbs decision and attempting even before, to criminalize health professionals, to punish women. States that are creating no exception for rape or incest.
Indiana is one of the first Republican-run states to debate tighter abortion laws following the U.S. Supreme Court decision last month overturning Roe v. Wade.
Joining us now to discuss Indiana's possible abortion ban is Professor Stephen Caliendo, Professor of Political Science at North Central College. Professor, thanks for being with us.
Sure, it's good to see you both.
Thank you. Let's dive into this. Indiana has traditionally been a red state. They have a majority in the state house. So how likely is this ban and how long could it take for this to shake out?
Well, depending on how active the conversation is, it may take a couple of weeks to ultimately shake out. There is a draft bill that was proposed that had some exceptions written in for rape, incest, and some language about saving the life of the mother. But it's a ban on abortion procedure for the most part, and I think it's likely that we'll see something like that come out of Indiana. What's really going to be interesting, of course, is what are the details of that, and that's why I think this may take more than a couple of days to get done. There's just a lot to consider, especially given the way Dobbs was written.
Now, in terms of how this draft is written right now, Professor Caliendo, can you kind of give some context into how it compares in its current form to some of the bans that have gone into effect in about a dozen other states?
It's not as restrictive as some other states in that it does have some exceptions written in. But I think what's going to be interesting is what are the penalties for violating this, and what are we going to do about transportation? Are they going to try to prevent Indiana citizens, for instance, from traveling to states where the procedure is not banned, nearby Illinois, for instance? What about procedures for abortions that happen through pharmaceuticals that could come in the mail? How are they going to regulate those? So there's a lot of these discussions, and that's why I say, what states have put the bans in place did so before the Dobbs decision. And so they anticipated some of this, but not all of it. This Indiana case is a very different situation because they're writing the legislation now after we've seen the way the court wrote up the Dobbs decision.
So we know that the vice president is in Indiana this week. What impact do you think that'll have, if any?
It has the impact of creating national attention to what's happening in Indiana, and that changes the context under which the legislation is written and the discussions that are taking place. So all that national attention, I believe the vice president was in Virginia as well a couple of days ago, and so this seems to be a real priority for the administration, certainly for the vice president, to move around and speak about reproductive health.
You alluded to possible implications when it comes to traveling across state borders in order to receive an abortion. Can you comment real quick before we go about the potential impact on the state of Illinois here?
There's no question in that if Illinois remains a place where there's safe and legal abortions, that all up and down the state, there's going to have to be consideration for increased traffic to centers that provide that for neighboring states. And so I'm certain that that's something that the providers in Illinois are bracing for.
All right, Professor Stephen Caliendo, thank you again.
It's great to see you both. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.